Hello, D-Rock here. Welcome to the channel. As I've mentioned previously, the peoples that occupied this canyon and the surrounding area did so for millennia. Their culture extends back to at least 1500 BC and probably farther, or so goes the thinking. Due to a large number of baskets found at archaeological sites dating back to that time period, this culture would be known as the basket maker culture, which in turn would eventually be called the Anasazi. The basket maker culture would go on and last from 1500 BC to around 800 AD, and then begin as the Pueblo period. As the Pueblo period begins, so does the building of granaries, cliff dwellings, and pueblos, or villages, all over the Colorado Plateau and also in this canyon. Corn would become a major food staple, and no doubt, life revolved around it. From around 700 AD to about 1300 AD, the Colorado Plateau would be very busy. The great centers of Mesa Verde and Chaco Canyon would be built, dense populations of people existed, pottery, rock art, trade flourished. Interesting times indeed. And then by 1300 AD, it was over. The Colorado Plateau, including this canyon, abandoned. What I just described is a simple story of this area over thousands of years. Obviously, the history of the peoples that inhabited this place goes much deeper. Imagine all the stories that could be told from all that time. Stories to fill millennia, I'm sure. No one knows what these people called themselves, the ancient peoples of the Colorado Plateau. Today they are respectively known as the Ancestral Puebloans. So please join me as I continue to explore this canyon, this ancient home, and discover what once was. And I'm going to take a break. I like this spot right here. I think this is where I'm going to camp. I'm going to probably pitch tent right out here. I'm far enough away, I think, from the cliffs. If a rock fell, I'd be okay. And I feel a little better about it. I'm not camping in the wash or near the spring, which I'm sure there's going to be some animal traffic there at night. Might be through here too, but investigate me. But I like the spot. I like all the handprints right there and the art right there, so I think this is probably a pretty special place. There's a lot of pictographs right here, and the sun will be up quick in the morning, so it's going to be it's probably going to be freezing tonight, so it'll warm up really quick right here. So I'm going to go back and grab my pack and move everything to this spot. Okay, pack is back. I'm chilling. I like this spot. I like this a little bit better than being back in that drainage, that narrow canyon area. I worry about rocks coming off the top. So I still might have the same problem here, just not as bad as in that area. And I'm in the grass. It's a little more open out here. I'll get some breeze. That's okay, but I'll get the sun quicker out here than I would in that narrow canyon, so I think this is going to be better. Plus there's a bunch of really cool rock art behind me. And yeah, so I'll get everything set up here shortly. I want to scour this area right here along the wall, and then right here. I'm finding so much stuff that it's definitely going to have to be 2 videos, but just absolutely incredible area. And as I was trudging back, the big pack on, I began to think. I was thinking this place obviously had it probably had lots of granaries in this area, if not down the canyon. So there's definitely farming going on for corn, because I have found corn cobs in here, but I have been in here. I came in this canyon 20 years ago, but I've never had the opportunity to really scour it and really look deeply into it. And this new route down has just given me so much more time to be able to enjoy it and stuff. It's a long walk in here from another direction, and there's a couple of the ways in, as I explained in the previous videos, and there's just miles and miles and miles of walking. So you spend all your time walking. So back to my point, I think I'm wondering if this place was like a food storage, if there's farming maybe in here, but also on top, and they stored all their food in these granaries, obviously, but maybe they stored it for winter. I don't know. So they would have been very protective of that, and maybe clashes occurred trying to get at that food. I don't know. You just start to think about a lot of stuff as you're trudging along with a big old heavy pack on. Anyway, I'm gonna have a granola bar and get back to it. Right, camp is made, and let me tell you, the temperature is dropping. It is freezing out here. So I got about 3 more hours before the sun drops, and I'm just gonna walk around this area because I keep seeing more stuff, and then I'm going to come back and boil up some water for dinner, and then I'm getting in the sleeping bag because it's going to be freezing tonight. But I was on this ledge earlier, walking right here, and now I see glyphs up here. So it's just, they're everywhere right here. And it's just anthropomorphic figures up in here. Now, this camera's not going to pick it up, but just pointing it out. I'm gonna go up here, and there's another overhang alcove type place right here, so there's probably stuff over there, and I haven't even looked at this whole side yet. So it's been an interesting day. So there's stuff here, and there's all this scratching. It's really bizarre. They're scratching out symbols, but I keep noticing this. There's more. Really interesting. Stuff here. Yep. Oh, there's really, look at that. A really old pictograph there. Man. That's down low. Look at that. That is a very bizarre looking zoomorphic figure. Huh. There's extremely faded glyphs right up here on this ledge, and then coming down. Here's that. Yeah. The bottom. Stuff's everywhere. So I'm just climbing up on this ledge right here. Check this out. That's really interesting. Well, I have to zoom in for this. So this is it's pretty incredible, actually. Yeah, we'll zoom in. All right, I'm going to zoom in on this flake up here. Look at that. There's some carvings on the edge right there. And then that flake. Got some interesting paintings on it. 3 figures. And then just to the right of it, it's a couple more paintings right there. I'm getting a different angle on that flake and the three figures and what I didn't see underneath, but there's something at their feet. You can see it now. Very interesting. And I got to go back to that flake with the three figures because I'm staring at it, and then just above the three figures you can see an upside down zoomorphic figure, white, with something, I don't know, coming out of its stomach area. This whole thing's really peculiar painting. See it all now? There's a whole lot going on. I didn't even notice that. That's absolutely incredible. It's just everywhere in here. In here. Look at this. There's all kinds of scratchings, ancient scratchings here. Whole walls covered in scratchings. But man, isn't that incredible? So what's really interesting is that I'm obviously observing really old rock art paintings, that is, and petroglyphs. I'm discovering lots of petroglyphs. One thing I'm not seeing, or two things I'm not seeing, I should say, I'm not seeing any spirals or concentric circles. That's very interesting. And I wonder why that is. I didn't see any spirals or concentric circles in that really old rock art out in Nevada either. So I don't know. Something to think about. We got a really interesting figure here. I almost missed it. It's so faded. Waiting for the sun. Go behind the cloud and see this better, but there it is. It's got headdress, three fingers. Yeah, the sun comes out, you can barely see it. This is a good shot here. Barely saw this guy. Almost completely faded away. Oh yeah, the arroyo. Man, this thing is deep. What a pain in the butt. It's choked with tumbleweeds. I'm gonna get down right here. Yeah, it's not bad. Yep, we got a concentration right down here. Oh no, there's more right there. Oh no, this is really interesting. Wow. Incredible. Here is a huge pictograph. I'm sure I'm standing on a stable. Good night. It's even a detail of his arm that's completely faded away, exfoliated away. This pictograph here is probably as big as me. Almost. It's still pretty vivid in some spots here. That is extraordinary. You can see it looks like there's three. This one's still the most vibrant. Just to its left are I can make out the outlines of two more larger figures. So that'd be three figures, and there's a really tiny one right there in the middle. But it's all pretty much faded and blurred. All the outlines are gone, but I think the camera's making it out better than my eye can. So I'm just gonna go across this kind of slow. This is really interesting. Man, there's just all kinds of stuff going on here. I think sometimes just standing back with the camera, you can make out more images. There's red images, yellow images, there's white images. It's just full up. Okay, I'm being extremely careful on this ledge. It's not a far drop, but it's far enough that I could really ruin my day. Also, I don't want to touch this wall with my hands, with my body, so I got to lean out a little bit. But here are more handprints. Isn't that extraordinary? And then just beside those handprints, is this big figure here. Wow. And you can see how fragile this is here. It's just, you could just bump into this and the painting will come off. I'm being extremely careful not to touch the wall. But seeing the handprints is just incredible. A lot going on down here as well. Crazy. I'm gonna go down this kind of slow because there's just figure after figure here. 1, 2, you see in the red, and then the white. And there's a large one down there that you almost can't make out. And then over to the yellow. Crazy. I think there's something here. Okay, I wanted to get off this ledge because everything's so fragile up there, and I wanted to use another camera to zoom in with this figure and the handprints. You can stand back a little bit and get a better idea just how interesting that looks. And then of course, pan out a little here, and the paintings just go down, down, down. Very interesting. I'm in this big alcove here as I'm making my way down the canyon, and I noticed potsherds. What I really noticed was painted one. I gotta get a close-up of this. This is fantastic. Right, here's that piece of painted pottery. Look at that. Wow. That's pretty cool. We'll just keep that right there. There's a big old ledge right here. And there's one interesting pictograph. Is that an hombre cayendo? Falling man glyph? Someone jump off that? Don't know. I have to go through the sea of tumbleweeds to get to the arroyo. Oh, this stuff is miserable. No. Just feel it sticking in my legs. I'm gonna try and zoom in on these figures right here, see if I can get a little more detail. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. That's very interesting. You see those details of the fingers. And the one right there has something in its hand that looks like it's maybe, I don't know, that's a very interesting figure right there. Looks like it's holding something. What do you think? Holding a head with blood drops coming out? I don't know, it's got some antenna there too. This is very interesting. So this is about 15-20 feet off the ground. And I just tried to get up there with an extension on a camera on an extension, but this looks like it's doing a better job. And there's a couple more images just to the right. Here we go. Oh yeah, there's another big figure. Wow, you can see that. These are a trip. It's a yellow figure right there holding something red in its hand. See that? What do you think, folks? All right, the day is almost done. It is late, so well, going on about 7. Not much daylight left, so I want to go ahead and get back to camp, squared away, get something to eat, and get in the tent, because the tent, as soon as it gets dark, boy, the temp is going to drop, and I will not be sitting outside by a little fire, it wouldn't do any good anyway. So right around the corner from camp, time to get some dinner, baby. Yeah, pretty cozy right here. I'll sit out here, chill out, and got a nice view of the canyon wall here. It's pretty windy. The wind keeps ripping around the corner, so I'm tucked in here. And I'm gonna boil up some water and make some dinner and have some hot tea, and then I'm getting in the tent and I'm gonna read and I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna try to sleep. I'm probably not gonna sleep very good. I'm sure it may be a very interesting night in this canyon. I hope I don't hear a mountain lion screaming. I really could do without that. It's gonna be beef stew tonight. May not look pretty, but boy, it tastes good after a long day of walking around in a canyon. I wanted to come in and zoom in one more time since the sun is off this large pictograph here and get an idea, here we go, of what someone looked like in the basket maker culture, Anasazi or Ancestral Puebloan, say 1,000 years ago. This painting's probably 1,000 years old, maybe it's older. But there you have it. You've got the ear bobs, you've got a headdress there, you've got something going across the chest. I'm not certain if he's holding something. I don't know, but I kind of call this the selfie. So it's very intriguing. That'll work. Bon appetit. Yeah. All right, I was using an inReach. I was able to get some messages out to my wife, letting her know I'm okay. And I was able to check the weather, and tonight it's not supposed to rain or snow or anything like that. So that's good. However, the low is going to get just above freezing. I think it said 33 or 34. That's on through tomorrow morning. Then the wind's going to come back in and howl starting early tomorrow afternoon. So the plan is I'm going to continue down the canyon in the morning. I'm going to get up and pack everything up. It's going to be freezing cold, literally. And have some coffee, have something to eat, and I'm going to go down the canyon and spend another few hours scouring the sides. And then I'm going to turn back and head up out of here by about noon. That'll give me 24 hours in the canyon here at that point. And that's right when the wind really starts howling. So I want to get out of here. I don't think the weather's coming with it. It's just going to be really windy. So that's the plan. And at this point, I'm thinking this video may be 3 parts. So morning, afternoon, following morning. Just so I can include all the rock art. I mean, it's so much. So we'll see how it works out. Anyway, I'm going to make some hot tea. And after that's all done, it's time to get in the bag because the temps dropping, baby. Wait for that tea to cool a little bit, but I was just thinking, I mean, it's winters in here suck. Elevation wise, I think I'm maybe 4,000 feet or so, maybe 5,000, but I mean, they are cold in this canyon. And up top, it's 1,000 feet higher, it's colder. I'm just wondering if they even hung out in here in the wintertime. I mean, presumably they did. 1,000 years ago, the climate was roughly similar to what it is now. I don't know, maybe they went further down into deeper canyons. Or they just weren't here at all in the winter. I don't know. But in the summertime, it's brutal in here. Brutally hot. just vicious. 110 degrees, probably hotter. I don't think they would have been hanging out here then either. They would have been up in the higher country. Maybe this was a spring and fall spot. I don't know. They were obviously had corn stored in here. There's lots of evidence of granaries. So, who knows? It's pretty cool to think about, though. All right, well, all cleaned up. I'm in the bag. Got some thermals on. It's going to be a long, cold night, but I'll survive. It's not quite dark yet, but it's going to do a little reading, and then that should be it. So hopefully there's no drama this evening, and it just gets by pretty quick, and that sun gets up in the sky because it's just going to be so cold. Yeah, so I'm all set for the evening now.